What's good, big dog? It's your boy Dre, and this is Samurai Kennels, Season 1, Episode 10, What I Like in a Dog. Watch until the end, leave a comment, be respectful, and enjoy the show.
Okay, let's go.
This week, while picking my daughter up from school, I encountered two Rottweilers, uncollared, unleashed, walking freely in my community. I always talk to you guys about having dogs that can defend you or defend the family against obstacles like this. Although my dogs weren't with me, I simply wanted to show the things that I deal with on a day-to-day basis here in Arizona. It's extremely important to me that everyone understand that just because you're doing things right doesn't mean things are going to happen right. Here, the dogs actually entered the Dollar General and ran mayhem in Dollar General. And then I get out of my car and actually engage the dogs to see if they're friendly or not.
Come on, puppy. Sit. No.
After a little research, the Rottweiler's owners were found on our Ring doorbell camera. They had been missing for about 16 days at this time. However, it's obvious that someone's been feeding them. These dogs have the power and ability to really seriously injure someone, and the severity of this action or negligence cannot go unnoticed. However, as opposed to calling animal control or doing something ignorant like cursing out the neighbors, we simply instructed them as a community on the responsibilities they have for owning a working breed. Not only is this working breed a very powerful breed that represents good, it's also I want to give a kudos to my community for getting together at the Dollar General and everybody doing their part to return these animals to the rightful owners and making sure that the owners understand how to properly keep their dogs. That's what a real dog community is. Neo Dogmen, stand up. Shogun Army, stand up. Meanwhile, in San Antonio, my brother Big A takes his dog Michonne out for a walk, getting her some last minute reps in before we get on the road this upcoming week to head to New Iberia, Louisiana for South Bottom Kennels Dog Show. Our digital dog shows will now become monthly, and I will cover that in more detail later in the video. But I wanted to give you an example of, even though the old yeller dogs are well-balanced dogs, they still have things that trigger them, and it is every individual's responsibility to make sure their dogs are being properly controlled in public.
Michonne act a fool behind the basketball. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on, let's go, girl. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go. What? What? Come on, Michelle. Let's go. Michelle, come on. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Michelle, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Michelle, let's go. Michelle, come on. Let's go.
In this next clip, Big A has Michonne on a slat mill. The slat mill that we at the Shogun Army have decided to use is the Pawpaw's slat mill. The reason why we chose this mill is because it is economically friendly and the shipping is done through Amazon. While I love to support local vendors, I simply don't understand some of the business practices, nor do I care to engage with people who have poor business practices or customer service. There are a lot of mill makers that I see on Facebook. However, when I get to the inbox, the conversation is not business oriented. It's more of like a homie deal. That's not what I'm looking for when I'm spending over $500. While to some people, $500 may not seem like a lot of money, to me, anything over $100 requires thought. This is how you build wealth. While many people simply want to just get out there and do things haphazardly, I prefer to do things with a little bit of research and forethought. Pawpaw's company is made right here in the US, so I'm still supporting American citizens. However, I just haven't met a person besides Pawpaw's that does cut and dry deals in business. This is why I like it. After having mine for over a year and a half, The only wear and tear that I have is based upon just natural use. The center of my meal is lighter than the edges of my meal, which is to be expected from the dogs running on there consistently. My meal is very, very noisy. If I could upgrade anything on the meal, I would upgrade the slats and change them into a lighter material that is less noisy so that I could use it at more times of the day. However, I have an indoor training facility, so I'm able to use it whenever I need to, and being inside of a building softens the noise so that I don't disturb the neighbors. I want you to be extremely conscious when you're dealing with these dogs and their nutrition because not only is working the slat meal a portion of getting the dogs in shape, but also the aftercare is extremely important. While getting ready for this show, I've been able to educate a lot of my friends and coworkers about what a conditioning or keep is and doing legal activities with these dogs to ensure that the breed survives for the next 10 to 20 years. That is the part I want to play is being a good ambassador for the old yeller dog and any dog breeds that look alike because at the end of the day, the general public doesn't care if we identify our dogs differently. They're all the same to them. A blocky box-headed animal is a blocky box-headed animal, no matter what, to the general public, and you're not going to change their opinion.
What's good, big dog? It's your boy Dre, and I just wanted to come through and talk to y'all about some different things. I wanted to come through and talk to y'all about different things that are going on in my mind that I wanted to address. So I wrote my thoughts down, but before I get to all of that, let me first give a shout out to South Bottom Kennels. Their show is coming up on February 15th in New Iberia, Louisiana, and we're ready to compete. We're excited, and we hope to see you out there. Additionally, for my digital dog show, I'll be airing it the weekend following when I get back from New Iberia, Louisiana for the one that occurred in January. And then for each subsequent month, just enter your dogs by the end of that month. So we're gonna do a digital dog show every month. Like you don't have to ask when they're gonna be. The last day of every month is when they're gonna be. All right. So we're gonna give you as many chances as you can to win Dog of the Year, Kennel of the Year, and Neo Dog Man of the Year. All right. So February 28th, have your submissions in for February by February 28th. Once March 1st starts, then you can enter for March and so on and so forth. And that's just how we're gonna do it. So here's some topics I wanted to cover and talk about as how I see them or how they were brought to my attention. The first one is talking to me. Okay, so on various forms of social media, and I've started posting my videos on all my social media, on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram as well, because I realize that some of my followers don't follow YouTube the way I follow YouTube. YouTube is my preferred method of communication, but yeah, so talking to me, one. Be an articulate individual to the best of your ability. I'm not saying that you got to be a Harvard scholar to have a communication with me, but you have to complete your thought when you're talking to me. I'm not going to continue to fill in dots for people. I'm just going to ignore you. There are people, and y'all know my pet peeve is you got pups or how much for a pup. For my program, my goal is not to actually necessarily sell dogs to everybody. It's for people that see my program and they know it would work for what they're going to use the dogs for. All right, predominantly trainers, competition people like shows, slat mill races. I don't really do the wall climbs, so I can't give you an accurate assessment on that. I mean, I do it at home, but as far as competing and being able to know where we stand, and weight pull, those are things I want to get into. But weight pull and wall climbing are not things that I'm specifically geared toward. But obedience, bite work, confirmation work, the slat mill races, hunting small game. I've actually done these with my dogs, and for those situations, my dogs are performing well, like to my standard and what I like to see for my standard. So as far as communicating with me, if you're interested in a puppy, obviously I'll add your name to a waiting list. However, be ready to actually talk to me on the phone and answer questions because just because you want the dog doesn't mean that I don't want my dogs going to the wrong people. And what I mean by the wrong people is people who don't understand the level of responsibility that I'm handing over to you. It's just like a firearm purchase. You know, you fill out paperwork, you get your firearm if you do it lawfully. And there's a way to say, okay, the day you assume responsibility and what those expectations are. Case in point, one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, if the dog doesn't meet your standards, what's going to happen to my dog? Right? And so if you're not prepared to answer that question, then you probably shouldn't contact me because I'm going to ask you questions because I don't care about your feelings. I care about the well-being of my animals when they leave my possession. Okay? as far as training stuff goes, even my Bushi Dre training style, the way I train, my balanced style of dog training is designed for the dogs that I breed. I breed dogs that meet my standard. Therefore, if you have a different standard, we need to clearly articulate that, because when the business deal is done, it is done. It's done in its finality. So I need you to understand exactly what is expected from the purchaser and what is expected from the breeder. I don't want any confusion, and I don't want my dogs or my reputation damaged because we didn't understand exactly what terms we were parting ways on when I transferred ownership of that dog to you. All right? So I just wanted to put that out there. I do have a breeding coming up. It's going to be Kamikaze to Saki. It's a pure old yeller breeding, and I do have a wait list on my website. I'll post a link in the description. However, I do want to say this as well. Individuals that I know personally and that I've talked to personally, like, this is not really relate to you because we've talked personally and our treaties or our agreements are made privately. This is for the general public, somebody who doesn't know anything about the program and just wants to get in on the bottom floor. This information is geared towards that. You know, a lot of y'all have my number and we talk at least once a month, or, you know, text me like weekly. Some of y'all text me daily. So this does not affect any of you guys. Okay, so that handles the first topic, talking to me. The next topic is, what is it that you want in a dog? All right, now I have to be very, very abundantly clear when I broach that topic. And the reason why I have to be abundantly clear when I broach that topic is because what I look for in a dog and what you look for in a dog are typically not going to be the same unless you are just in my program. And I would say the only person that is like fully bought into my program is Big A. All right, Big A is fully bought into the program. Big A trains very, very similarly. We could swap dogs today and you wouldn't really see a difference in how the dog is treated. Big A is actually a better caretaker than I am of the dogs. So honestly, it's an upgrade going from me to Big A. All right. Another person who I could say could run an old yeller dog right now today is a Student for Life dog training. The brother knows way more than I know about dog training and way more about animal husbandry. And for a person like that, our conversation, we can just go. There is no introductory conversation. There is no small talk. We go straight to business when we talk. And so for those two individuals, I would say they kind of know what I want in a dog. But for those of you who don't, I'll break it down for you. Okay, what I want in a dog, first, is that the dog has to look like and give the characteristics of whatever the forefathers of that dog and that breed are. As an example, my dog's progenitors were American Pit Bull Terriers. Therefore, the standard of the old yeller dog is very similar to the standard of the American Pit Bull Terrier. The only difference is my dogs, I want bred more so for training and the ability to condition them. So I want a dog that can be easily worked for sport and easy to give basic obedience commands to very, very quickly. That way if I have to train a whole litter before they leave my home, I can readily train that whole litter before they're 6 months old and have them prepared for whatever it is that the potential purchaser or potential new owner wants them to do. And that would be based upon our agreement. But it has to look like and act like the progenitors, but it also has to have the ability to dial it back and turn on and turn off the instincts that are genetically inherent to the animal. All right. 2, I want a dog that is very, very healthy, doesn't have a lot of hip dysplasia, doesn't have a lot of blindness, deaf, underbites. There are some things I can work through, but like those things are things that I don't even want to look at. I want a dog that's very conformationally sound. I don't really like bad-eared dogs personally. That's not saying that I'm against bad-eared dogs. It's just that's not the look that I want to achieve with my lineage of breeding. And I do my best to breed that out. You know, they're going to come up because it's indicative in the breed. It's part of the breed. It's part of the history that's going to be there. But the more I can breed away from that, the more I will breed away from that. Also, what I want in a dog is I want a dog that works with vigor. I did an episode back about 2022, I think, where I invited Rasta Man on, and he said something that stood out to me. And before I even had a slap meal, he said, you know, when you're really working a dog and they're really working that slap meal, the meal almost goes to whistle. And when I finally got my slap meal, that was the standard that was set for me. So like that's how my dog needs to run a slap meal. Or when I first got my first deer hide, you know, and the dog was hanging off the ground, biting or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that is the minimum amount of mouth that my dogs can have. You know, they can support their own body weight for an extended period of time during a workout session with all 4 paws off the ground. These are requirements for my breeding program because that's what I like. And that's not to put down anybody else's breeding program. Some people don't care about those things, but I do. So it has to work with vigor. It has to have a decent amount of ability, athleticism, and intensity when it does the work. My dog for the flirt pole, the slat mill, the spring pole, the wall climb, they'll pull weight, they will chase small game, they will show aggression when aggression is shown to them. These are things that I want to see in a dog. And so I wanted to put that out there because for those of y'all who are new to the channel or don't understand the program, these are things that I want in my dogs. And the things that I'm willing to give up are, I don't care if my dogs are necessarily the most well-behaved in the home because I have crates and I have exercise tools to keep my dogs tired or confined when I can't be there with them to give them the attention and love that they need. So my dog, I'm more worried about the sporting ability of my dogs and their ability to perform the tasks that I enjoy doing with them together. They also do cycling with me as well. Caney cross, which is where I tie the dog to my waist and we go running through the mountains or whatever. Like, these are activities that I enjoy. So therefore my dogs have to be able to enjoy those activities. If those are activities you're not involved in, it is not necessary for you to enjoy those same activities. So that's what I want in a dog. That's what I look for in a dog. In a puppy, the things I'm looking for in a puppy. Does the puppy play with vigor? Does it follow toys around when I throw toys around? Does it play tug with vigor? Are the puppies showing the right amount of dominance? Do they pass my puppy aptitude testing? These are things I look for in a puppy while I'm building my program. And so what is it I want in a dog was the topic. And I said that because one of the things that I get a lot of emails and messages about is, hey man, you should try this or you should try that. And my honest to God feedback to you is, you should try me and show how it turns out for you. And then let me see if I want to try it. Because I get a lot of advice from people who don't have channels and they don't show their dogs enough for me to value their advice. Mr. Richard Garcia shows through knowledge and through things that I've already experienced that he knows what I'm like. It's all, when you've been through the same things, you kind of understand stuff. And I haven't been through what Schoolboy been through. Let me not steal valid. But what I'm saying is, when he talks about conditioning a dog, after conditioning my dog the first time ever in life, I was like, I get a lot of those things now because I've just done it. And you can hear when somebody has knowledge about something and they're very knowledgeable and they understand what it is they're talking about. So in those situations, that's what I'm trying to give the information, is that I want to learn from people who are either doing it or have done it to a high level. I don't just want to talk to other people like me about those things. I want to compete against you. And then when I compete against you, if my dogs outperform your dogs, then you should probably take my advice and shut up. Or if your dogs do outperform my dogs in those situations, then great. You know, we will be able to, I'll be able to ask you questions and know that the questions I'm asking you are coming from a place of knowledge and understanding. So the next question I have is, and leave this one, this is the question for you to leave answers in the comments. What is it that you want in a dog? And when we go live again, I'll bring this question back up because it's a lot to type, and I always offer the opportunity for people to speak their piece. And I'm not big on responding to keyboard warriors. I'm going to get even less responsive to keyboard warriors because they add no value to what I'm trying to accomplish. All right. And that leads me to the next topic, which is advice without proof is not sufficient. I respect the real work that you show. So there's a lot of people who are breeding, and to them, their dogs are great. And if you're happy, if you like it, I love it. But there's just certain standards. Let me get to the point. I've been offered a lot of dogs over the last 5 years of being on YouTube, and a lot of the dogs, even if I had room for them, I wouldn't take them. And it's no disrespect to tell you that your dog just doesn't, I don't see it fitting into my program. But what I'm looking for is, when I'm looking to get a dog to add to my program, is what are you doing with the parents? And what about the parent says that their offspring will blend well with what I'm already doing? And a lot of brothers just don't work their dogs, or don't sport their dogs, or don't train their dogs the way that I sport mine and train mine, Therefore, I don't see a purpose for adding it to my program, because what it does is it sets me back to Bacardi. So with Bacardi, I got her from THK, and I told him, I expressed to him, I want a dog that I can train. I want a dog I can take to shows. These are the things that I really want to have. And so by doing that, he was able to pick the puppy for me, right? I just call that good breeding. And so I get the dog, and she has a lot of the qualities I'm looking for, but she wasn't the easiest to work. She actually did not enjoy the meal. She did not like the meal at all. But the overall crowding quality for her was she was very conformationally sound, and she took very, very good care of puppies. So that's a trait I didn't know I was looking for that I got. But when I crossed her to Apache Kennels Knucklehead and made the Saki litter, 3 out of the 5 were exactly what I was looking for. Like, after owning a Belgian Malinois Shepherd Cross, I realized that the types of energy and activities I want to do with the dogs, this litter could do it. And so once I saw that, and then you saw Saki grow up and you saw the training and stuff with him, I then wanted to be able to replicate that. So I bred Saki back to his mother, and the entire litter was capable of doing all of those things that Saki did. Some things better, some things not as good, but they were commensurate with what the breeding was intended to do. And that's where I go into show me your work. Everything that I talk about, I show you. And I take everything that I don't see with a grain of salt, because they say believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. But if you're not showing me anything, then what do I have to believe you for, or why should I listen to you? You know, that's like a guy that's standing on the corner asking for dollars, trying to tell me how to drive a car. He could know exactly what he's talking about. However, he's not in a position to demonstrate the effectiveness of his knowledge. Therefore, I can take it or leave it, but that's on me, you know. And there has to be a way to filter through the BS. There could be a million masters that know what they're talking about that can't show you, and that's great. Go find those masters. I want a master with a dojo where I can go in and work in the dojo and test that 6-inch death punch and see if I can actually break a piece of wood with a 6-inch death punch, you know. And I'm just using martial arts as an example, but that's my example that I want to use. Aside from that, the things I wanted to cover was I was talking to a brother today, and he was mentioning my list from last year. And one of the things that he said was he's been, I kind of fell back from YouTube, and I haven't really been watching the channels like that. You know, I've been kind of staying to myself and not putting out videos as much because I just don't want to deal with the bullshit. But one of the things that the brother did bring to my attention was he was saying that out of all the channels on the list, there was one channel that's really been kicking up dust in 2025. And he gave me his reasoning for it and everything, and I'm not going to share his information because he didn't ask me not to, but it's just one of those things where, you know, it can be very, very controversial. But he did say something, and I agree with him. Pelican Bay has been he's moving his channel up. He's elevating himself, and he's really being competitive this year. You know, if you like him or hate him, you have to understand that people are watching him. You know, I appreciate the content value for what it is, and I just want to give that shout out to him and let him know, you know, I see you. You know, I see you. But yeah, so other than that, man, I wanted to put that out there, and I wanted to share these things with y'all because at the end of the day, I'm moving the way I need to move for me. You don't have to ride the fence with me, all right? You don't have to ride the fence. One of the things that you will learn with watching Dre is that Dre's been Dre. Dre is going to be Dre. And you don't have to worry about riding the fence. If you are unsure, I'll just put you over there. You know, I'll just put you over there where you want to be at, and no hard feelings. And if it is hard feelings or y'all, you know, people want to talk about it, you know, that's on that side of the fence, because over here we're going to worry about working our dogs, showing our dogs, and moving on to the next generation, making the next generation better. That's exactly what our intention is over here at Samurai Kennels. The Shogun Army, salute, stand up. To all of y'all brothers who've been rocking with us since day one, we appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. We earnestly appreciate you. And the channel would be nothing without your support. If you're still here at this point, please like, follow, subscribe, and share. But this has been Samurai Kennels with your Sunday Weekly Wrap-Up. Episode 10, Episode 11 coming after the South Bottom Dog Show. Peace.
I need another one. I'ma roll it up and I light it up. I need another one. So put some more in my cup. I just need another one. I'ma roll it up and I light it up. I need another one. So put some more in my cup. I just need another one. 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 I just need another